Hello and welcome to the U.S. Immigration News. Across America, a quiet sense of worry is spreading through immigrant families. After years of uncertainty, the Trump administration has once again turned its focus toward tightening family-based immigration. This time, the changes are centered on the I-130 Petition for Alien Relative, a form that millions of U.S. citizens and permanent residents use to bring their loved ones to the United States. For many, this petition is the bridge between separation and reunion. But under the new direction of the Trump administration, that bridge is beginning to narrow. In this video, we'll explain how the Trump administration's latest actions are tightening I-130 petition rules, what this means for family-based green card applicants, and how it could impact processing timelines through USCIS and the NVC. If you are liking this video, please hit the bell button, subscribe, and like it so that you may get updates straight to your smartphone. Now let's get into the video. In early November 2025, reports began circulating from multiple immigration attorneys and advocacy organizations that USCIS officers have received new internal review guidelines for family-based petitions. These new standards emphasize enhanced verification of financial ability, relationship legitimacy, and sponsorship reliability. On paper, these might sound like procedural refinements, but in reality, they mark a deliberate tightening of how family petitions, particularly Form I-130, are reviewed and approved. To understand what's changing, we first need to recall the history. During Trump's first term, the public charge rule sought to deny green cards to applicants who might depend on public benefits. That rule was later rescinded by the Biden administration, restoring a more humanitarian tone to immigration. But now Trump's second administration appears to be reviving parts of that old framework, not by law but through internal USCIS policy updates. These updates effectively make it harder for U.S. citizens and green card holders to prove that they can financially support their relatives. According to internal sources, officers are now instructed to scrutinize affidavits of support far more aggressively. In cases where the petitioner's income barely meets the federal poverty threshold, additional documentation, such as bank statements, tax returns, and proof of ongoing employment, is now being required. This has caused a sharp rise in RFEs, or requests for evidence, being sent to sponsors who previously would have been approved without issue. And it doesn't end there. Relationship verification, a key component of the I-130, is also under tighter review. Even straightforward petitions between married couples or parents and children are now facing longer review periods. Officers have been advised to verify not only marriage certificates and birth documents, but also evidence of continuous communication, shared finances, and proof of joint living arrangements when available. For many families, these new checks translate into months of additional waiting. The average I-130 processing timeline, which had stabilized around 12 to 14 months in early 2025, is now stretching closer to 18 months in some service centers. The ripple effect is already being felt at the National Visa Center, where documentarily qualified cases are piling up while waiting for final approval to move forward to U.S. consulates abroad. Attorneys across the country say they're seeing a surge in clients receiving new RFEs asking for proof that didn't used to be questioned. Some examples include long-distance communication logs for married couples who met online, joint property ownership for spouses living apart, or even photographs spanning several years of a relationship. These requests, while framed as verification, are creating a chilling effect on families already struggling to navigate complex paperwork and limited interview slots. The Trump administration has publicly defended the move as part of a broader campaign to strengthen immigration integrity. A senior official from the Department of Homeland Security told reporters last week that the family immigration system must prioritize genuine relationships and financially stable sponsors to prevent future burden on taxpayers. Yet, for immigrant families, the language of stability feels like a barrier, another way to question their right to reunite. At the same time, many are noticing a familiar pattern, the same slowdowns and administrative tightening that marked Trump's earlier years in office. Some immigration advocates call it policy by delay, using longer timelines and higher evidence standards to reduce the number of cases that make it through. And because these are internal procedural changes, not new laws, they take effect quietly, without public debate or congressional approval. This renewed scrutiny has already led to growing backlogs at USCIS. Case tracking platforms show that thousands of I-130 petitions filed in early 2024 are still pending. For those already approved and waiting at the NVC, the delays are cascading. Interview scheduling at U.S. consulates in India, the Philippines, and Mexico are stretching several months longer than expected. Families separated across borders are beginning to lose patience, and some are now considering legal action to challenge what they see as unreasonable delay. Financial sponsorship, once seen as a straightforward process, is becoming one of the hardest parts of the application. The Trump administration's emphasis on financial self-sufficiency means that joint sponsors are also facing stricter checks. In some cases, even co-sponsors with strong incomes have received RFEs, demanding more proof of intent to support or additional IRS transcripts. Immigration lawyers warn that this could create a chilling effect, where potential sponsors are afraid to help family members due to the complexity of new requirements. Inside USCIS, the mood is described as tense. Officers are under new performance metrics designed to reduce adjudicatory errors, which effectively means slowing down decisions until every verification is complete. Field officers are receiving fewer monthly approvals and higher audit reviews from Washington, leading to longer waits even for clean, error-free petitions. For the families waiting, every delay feels personal. A mother waiting to bring her son from Manila, a husband waiting to join his wife in California, or a child waiting for a parent's approval from Mexico. Each one now faces an uncertain future. What should be a family's path to reunion is starting to look more like a legal obstacle course. Meanwhile, advocates are urging Congress to intervene. Groups like the American Immigration Council and the National Immigration Forum are calling these new policies a hidden restriction, warning that the administration's changes could cut family-based immigration numbers by as much as 20% over the next 2 years. They argue that family sponsorship has long been the backbone of America's immigration system, and eroding it will have lasting consequences on communities, labor, and integration. It's worth noting that while these changes primarily affect family-based petitions, the impact may spread. The same integrity framework could soon influence how employment-based applications, humanitarian cases, and green card renewals are handled. Immigration experts believe this is part of a broader effort to reframe U.S. immigration priorities, one that puts security and self-reliance over family unity. As of November 2025, the official USCIS website still lists standard processing times for I-130 forms between 12 and 16 months, but applicants are reporting far longer waits, particularly when their cases trigger additional reviews. Some have waited over 20 months without a single update, even after submitting all requested evidence. The fear among many is not just delay, but denial. If these new standards continue tightening, families with limited income or unconventional documentation may see their petitions rejected altogether. For immigrant households already living paycheck to paycheck, this could mean years of separation, or the painful decision to give up entirely. As we move toward 2026, the message from the Trump administration is clear. Immigration is not going to get easier, especially for family-based applicants. The focus is shifting back toward employment-driven pathways and merit-based systems, while family petitions face heavier scrutiny. For now, applicants are advised to prepare carefully, submit complete and well-documented petitions, and stay alert for any policy changes from USCIS. The landscape is shifting once again, and being proactive can make all the difference. That's all we have for this bulletin. The U.S. Immigration News Channel provides all necessary visa information and procedures for your U.S. immigration journey. It is important to understand the United States immigration processing steps, visa application requirements, processing times, forms, fees, and more. We will continue to provide all information about U.S. visitor visas, such as B1 and B2, work visas such as L1A, L1B, and H1B, student visas, green cards, immigrant visas, EB1, EB2, EB3, EB4, and EB5, and family immigrant visas. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the U.S. Immigration News channel. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.